Howdy, y'all, and welcome back to I Am a Champion, my series where I talk about all things that I love about the Olympics and Paralympics. Today we had a lot of action on both snow and ice, in hockey and in curling for ice, which the team events have just started today for curling. And we also had downhill and biathlon competed on snow. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about how snow sports are sometimes competed in a very different way than we are used to in the Olympics. And hopefully, maybe make it more understandable when you're watching. Or at least you'll know what to look for when you're watching. I'm going to talk specifically about the biathlon sit ski event. In the biathlon, in order to keep fair sports, their disability categories are broken up into three major categories, and then there's something called factored time down here in the corner. It might be in a different spot for you depending on who is broadcasting this. But in those three major categories, we have standing, we have visually impaired, and yes, the biathlon with the guns has a visually impaired category. And we have sit ski. I wanted to talk to you about sit ski because that is the one that I just finished watching, and it's easier because it's fresher on my mind. In sit ski, those athletes are not able to use their legs to propel themselves. They use their upper torso and their shoulders and their arms. But with disability being such a spectrum, such a different range of abilities or not, they have to figure out a way to keep that fair. And in order to not require every single version of disability to have their own different run of the race, they had to figure out a way to still have someone with full use of their trunk or torso or abs, their shoulders and their arms compete fairly against someone who maybe is paralyzed from the chest down, might not have as much access to the strength in their arms because maybe they have neurological disorder in one arm. They have to figure out a way to make it fair. So how do they make a race with those many different disability ranges fair? Well, that's where factored timing comes in. Factored time basically means, if you'll see, this one is at 86%. I'm dyslexic, so I can never remember if that means that it's running at 86% speed or if that means that it's 86% slower. But I think it's at 86% speed. I'm very confused about that because dyslexia is fun, and no matter how many times someone explains it, as soon as I try and understand it myself, I'll mix it up. But basically, there's 100% factor timing, and then it gets smaller and smaller depending on the different ranges of ability or disability. 100% means, of course, 1 second equals 1 second. 86% means it's going to be slower by a certain degree, roughly around 86% speed. So the reason for that is that someone with full strength in their abs and their chest and their arms can really propel themselves forward. They might even be able to use parts of their hips. They can really propel their sled, their seat forward faster than someone that only has use of their arms. And then there's, of course, a range in between all of that. And so in order to make that fair, if someone has to ski slower due to their strength capacity, they do a lot of math somewhere in the background before the race even begins to figure out how much more time it might take one version of disability versus the other version of disability, and they factor it all together and figure out that difference in time so that once it comes race day, they're all running fairly. So which one gets 100 and which one gets 86%, I wish that I could remember. But again, my dyslexia is in the way here. This is where I think it's time for you to watch and enjoy yourself. Hopefully, this has made you curious enough that when you go and watch it, you can check it out for yourself and see who is 100% factored versus who is 80% factored. What does that look like? What does that mean for you? It can make it more fun and exciting to watch now that you know what to look for. I hope that you can find some sports to watch. I'm pretty sure, given that there are some amazing athletes in the field today in biathlon, including Oksana Masters and Kendall Gretsch, that at least some of this might make it into the highlight reel coverage that NBC is going to air hopefully tonight. According to their plan, it should be airing tonight during their primetime slots. They will also have some highlight reels on the 14th in that primetime slot, according to their schedule at the moment. Now, that being said, here's hoping that there are so many eyes on this on USA Network and on Peacock that maybe NBC will get the message and do some smaller highlight reels during the week. That's my hope. We never know. Eventually, this could happen. That's the goal, in my opinion, is to have access to anyone to watch this. But until that time, I hope that you enjoy watching any coverage that you can. And I hope that this starts to make a little bit more sense to you, because if all you get is a highlight reel, it's going to be really, really difficult to understand what's happening. So if I've at least bridged that gap even a little bit, I feel glad that I've done something to help out there. Oh, I did want to make one more note. NBC did listen a little bit, and they have made it more accessible if you watch on Peacock. They now do have the icon for the Paralympics itself right there on the homepage, both on the television version and the tablet version. So you don't have to go searching through the sports tab to find the Paralympics. You can go straight to the Paralympics right there from the home screen. I am not sponsored. I just really love the Paralympics and the Olympics, and I want to share my love of the sport with you out there. And maybe if we share it enough, if we watch it enough, it will be more accessible to more people out there. Thank you all for watching. God bless you. From me and mine to you and yours. Oh wait, that's my Christmas series. God bless y'all. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now. Bye.